I'm gonna have a challenge.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was afraid to do yoga. I haven't eaten today. So I was like, well, I can't drink wine. It'll make me lightheaded. And so then I ate food real fast, and now I ate too much too close, and now I'm probably gonna be sick from that. So
Great.
yeah, either way, this wasn't gonna work out well. Molly, is it too late
For what?
for someone to register?
No, I can send a link.
Okay. Kelly says that it tells her she needed to register 15 minutes before.
I'll register her. Well, she should still be able to sign up.
Okay, I'll talk.
But if not, I'll register and then she can go in and pay.
Look, Roxanne, I wore Lily too.
I still have my shorts on. I didn't bother to change.
Well, yoga in those white Lululemon leggings would have been moon yoga. So,
Hi.
What's going on here?
Roxanne?
Yeah.
I added her, but she'll have to pay. So it should show
Okay.
up that she's registered on her end now, but then she should be able to pay from her account. Hey, Kay. Yep, there she is. Oh, no. Hey, Bagheera. Zero. Hey, Jack.
Hey. Mom?
It's Martha.
Yep. And Jack.
Did you say Beck was here?
No, Jack. Martha's son.
I thought you said and Beck. I'm like, I don't see Beck.
No, no Beck.
I was in such a hurry that I didn't get an appropriate wine glass. I have all kinds of fun little saying ones. Oh, well.
It's okay.
You're like, oh yeah, I got this.
Hey, Martha.
Hey, hi. Dirty old mat. Wow, man.
Yeah, sorry, I took it outside a few times. No, I took it outside.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Martha.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How is this possible? We just vacuumed it.
Molly, Asa tried to do yoga with me on Monday
Oh,
or
fun.
Wednesday when you did it. He lasted
Yeah.
like 5 minutes.
My friend Amy, her daughter Kate was doing it with her for a little bit, but then she was doing her own version. She did stuff the whole time, just not at all what we were doing.
Modifying.
So, oh crap! I gotta go switch mats. So the other night, I don't know if you could see how much I was falling around. I've got a
I
big.
could. And your microphone was on part of that time?
I
I
know.
texted her and told her to turn it off.
I mean, it can be on now, but when we get started, I will remind you to turn your mic off.
Well, so I have my big foofy mat that I use for like restorative and yin, and I just grabbed it, and it's like 1.5 inches thick, so it's real soft. So every time I tried to do something, I was like falling around. I was like, oh crap! But I couldn't go get another one because of the dogs.
We've got one more signed up because there's 2 people in Martha's video. That's 2 of the people.
Yeah, I think rather than both of us have our laptop.
Oh no, that's great. That works just fine. Ellen is supposed to join us
Okay.
from Tallahassee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ellen. You're gonna, yeah, I saw that she asked you if it was gonna work for her. Okay. I left my at home because I was like, there's no way I'm going to, Asheville yoga.
Well, that's because now you're just going to take yoga at the cabin. No big deal.
Yeah, so he's got the only mat here. I'm gonna be like,
It'll be fine.
do all right. And what I can't do, I'll just sit down and drink my beer.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a delightful wine from one of the wineries I went to last weekend.
Nice,
You
Jack.
know, I don't like pink wine, but it's pink, so there's that.
You're gonna have to go away. Just a little bit.
And I got my aerial swing up
I saw
outside.
that. Wonderful.
It's where Bruce's swing goes, but now Bruce's swing is right there. And we put in hooks that actually are strong. But I will say flipping upside down, facing the backyard, which is a hill, is a little bit a lot, as it turns out.
It's a little bit a lot.
Yeah, I was not expecting to be like, whoo, because, I go upside down all the time.
But you gotta get on a chair or somewhere. You gotta go elsewhere. Oh.
What beer did you pick?
Finishing the last.
We've still got a couple more minutes. If you would like to use anything for props, feel free to grab some, like a pillow, or if you have yoga props, feel free to grab those. And we'll get started in about 4 or 5 minutes. Give Ellen a couple more minutes.
Yeah, go ahead, buddy. Bless you. Go lay down. Go lay down.
Get out of
Go
here.
lay down.
Not there. You gotta move.
Have you done yoga?
Good boy.
All right.
That's a good boy.
Oh, I turned the air on, so I'm gonna close it.
Can't leave the windows open, but that's okay. They're open for stairs.
Yeah. Just feels a little bit hot. I'll be right back.
Somebody else join in.
Oh, there's Kelly. Okay, what you got? I have that at my house right now.
It is the best. We found these at our like local place recently, and I had to. It was
I know,
smart.
yeah, I haven't had one yet, but they're in the beer drawer because we have one of those.
They're very good. And Matt has some IPA thing.
I'm happy he likes those.
Double IPA.
Oh, no.
I like those.
Wish they had this in the back side.
You said that was more.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, the train doesn't go fast.
I can't really go back any further.
No, scoot to your left.
Okay, but you move forward and I'll move over.
You can move on.
Yes.
You want?
No, I don't need.
Oh.
No.
All
That's
right.
not gonna go well.
If that happens, we're
That's
sorry.
okay. Y'all are going to just mute
Mute
yourself
your
in a minute, in a
microphone.
second anyway.
He's protecting us from the evil finches.
All right, as we go ahead and get started, welcome to Happy Hour Yoga. Feel free, I have some wine here. I do have a cute glass that says something Sarah, so I guess I'm living that. But as we get started, do go ahead and put your mics on mute. That way, since we're recording it, it'll keep the recording on me and not you guys on the screen. And if you do have questions as we move through practice, you can give a wave or you can turn your mic on to ask those questions. Today's flow will be pretty gentle, given that you're probably also having some sort of wine, beer, or cocktail, or water, or juice, or whatever. Probably not milk. That would not be a good choice while you're moving, but that's your choice if that's what you want. As we go through practice, feel free to grab anything to create added support. You're welcome to use any props or pillows if you'd like. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and get started seated. Finding a comfy spot. Let me know. Volume okay? Can you hear me at this level? All right, great. Find that comfortable spot to sit. I'm sitting on a block. You're welcome to sit on a pillow or a blanket to add extra cushion for your sits bones or your tailbone, or just to make it more comfortable. And as you pause, maybe start to feel your shoulders stacking over your hips. Crown of the head reaches high as the tailbone or the sits bones press down, creating length through the spine. Feeling free to close your eyes or look at your beverage, whatever you'd like. And allow yourself to arrive on the mat. Taking this time to convene, although quietly, honoring social distancing rules, but also getting that interaction that we so crave. As you pause, maybe you choose to set an intention to guide your practice. That could be an intention cultivating an emotion or state of being. Perhaps one of release and letting go of the things you have no control over, which could be vast currently. As you pause, go ahead and exhale everything out. And we'll inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Allowing your breath to find its pace to guide your practice. Feeling free to continue that equal parts breath, balancing and maybe lengthening the inhales and exhales to match. Tends to create a calming sense over the body. Then on your next inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, sways to your right side. If you haven't taken my class, I like to teach as your mirror. So, you know, you do you. There's two sides. Whichever one happens, happens. Your next inhale comes center. Exhale tips you to your second side. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, tips. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Finding that one more time each side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the side. Inhale, up. Exhale, over. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach. Swinging. This is a fun game. Right arm under left. Maybe you grab at the hands. Maybe you grab at the shoulders. Finding eagle arms here. Feeling out the shoulders. If you're like me, a lot of your tension has settled there. So starting by pulling the elbows down. Still feeling stacked, shoulders over hips. Then pressing the hands up toward the ceiling, but keeping the shoulders pressing down. Targeting a different area of the shoulder. And release the arms, reaching up on your inhale. Exhale, swing that other arm underneath. Finding your wrap on your second side. If your shoulders do not like this, feel free to rest the hands on top of the shoulder. And once again, we start pressing down. I feel that one down the top of my arm as well. Then pressing the hands up. Unwinding, inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Feeling free to grab a sip of whatever you have. And then we're gonna make our way to our tabletop position. If you'd like to pad your knees with an extra blanket, feel free. Finding that supported neutral spine here. Belly button does pull to the spine to support the low back. Hands placed under shoulders. Knees are under your hips. And you can just start, maybe take a gentle wag, wagging your tail from side to side. Maybe letting that go all the way through the side bodies, all the way through the neck and the head. And when that tic-tac feels even, we'll pause in the center. Your inhale drops the belly looking forward or up for cow. The exhale rounds the spine to cat. Once again, you find your breath and movement syncing. Inhales to cow. Exhales to cat. Feeling free to pause in one space or the other. Taking an extra full breath there. And also feeling free to jump rope through the spine. Or S-shape the body. Finding your cat-cows for about 3 more rounds of breath. And once you feel complete, you return to that neutral supported spine of tabletop. And your inhale reaches your left toes straight behind, and then pressing the ball of your foot into the mat or the floor behind you, stretching out the back side of the leg. Intensity level is up to you here, pressing through the hands. You could bounce gently through the toes. Then allowing that foot to hover, reach it across your body, pressing into the toes, getting a stretch on the outer hip of your supporting leg. Maybe you look over your shoulder towards your foot. You can even take that gentle motion of bouncing through the foot here. Then bringing the toes center. reaching the foot out like you're gonna karate kick. Plant those toes on the floor and walk yourself upright. Reaching your supporting leg arm up and over toward that leg. For gate pose, the hand can hover, it can support onto the leg. Inhale brings you up. Walking the hands forward, keeping that foot out. You can stretch a little bit through that leg as well. Feeling the hips working to stay square here. Your table just has a weird kickstand. Then lifting through the foot, squaring the big toe back to the mat, and then settling the knee down. Feeling free to wiggle it out, cat-cow. And then we'll stretch the opposite toes behind us. Follow the foot to the floor, pressing into that toe. Feeling sensation through the hamstrings and the calves. Then lifting the foot back to float, and it reaches across. Pressing, feeling that in that external rotator, the glute of the bottom leg. Maybe a side body stretch, especially if you're looking toward your heel. Returning center, foot reaches out, karate kicks, plants, and we walk ourselves upright. Supporting arm reaches up and over. Resisting the urge to crunch forward, but to keep the shoulders on top of each other here. That may mean you don't go as close to your leg, and that's okay. Returning up, hands walk forward. Maybe you press into that foot a little bit. I feel that personally on my inner thigh, but you might also feel it down your IT band. And reaching that foot behind and settling it down. Wiggling it out. Then pausing briefly for melting heart. You keep your hips high over your knees. Hands walk forward. Chest comes down. Forehead can be on the mat, or you could turn a cheek. Returning your head center. If you turn a cheek, walking the hands a little bit toward you so you can come up through tabletop. And we'll tuck the toes and find down dog. Allowing your body to find intuitive movement here. Wagging your tail, walking your dog, shaking your head. Finding whatever movement you need for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pausing in the outward stillness of your down dog. Becoming aware of the hands on the mat as if they're gently twisting jar lids to activate through the fingers and reduce pressure on the wrists. Then as you're ready, you can walk your hands back to meet your feet in a forward fold. Feet can be wide or narrow. Maybe you grab elbows and hang and ragdoll. Releasing any grips you've taken, tucking the tailbone, bending the knees deeply as you stack the spine, making your way up to mountain pose. Shake it out, sway it out, grab a sip of water or whatever. If you're feeling real fancy and you think you can balance with just one hand, feel free to hold your beverage while you flow. Good luck with that. And then we'll come to the top of the mat to meet in mountain. As you pause here, gently rock forward and back. The hard part here is to rock back as far forward. We're real good at rocking forward, and we'll go back, we're like, yep, I went backwards, but we didn't go very far. Feeling the weight distribute across the feet and between the two legs. Once you find your middle ground, your center of gravity, you can feel your shoulders stacking over your hips. Your rib cage closes, engaging through the core. In mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to heart as we sit down on the chair. Knees may be stacking over ankles, tailbone reaching down. Maybe you're on a bar stool, you're up high. Maybe you're sitting down more closely to a couch. Exhale, releases, forward fold. Inhale lifts halfway up, hands come to the shins. Exhale, hands plant. Stepping it back to down dog. Inhale, reaches your right toes high. Exhale, steps them through. Sending the back heel down, opening up to warrior two, focusing on those hips today. Checking in with the front knee, watching where it's angling. It should shoot just about toward the middle or second toe. Blade edge of the back foot presses into the mat. Looping the front palm, exalting your warrior, keeping the front knee bent. Inhale, returns. Maybe you sink a smidge deeper. Swinging your front arm under the back, taking that eagle wrap arm once more. This time we're taking humble warrior, folding forward. Maybe you rest on the quad. Maybe you bring your shoulder by the knee. Inhale brings you back up. Unwinding the arms. Straightening through the front knee. You can keep the wide stance, or you can heel toe that foot, the back foot up. So there's about 2.5 feet between your feet. Yogi's choice here. As we tip forward for triangle. Hand can find a spot anywhere on the leg or foot. If you've got a prop, it could go there. Chest opens to the wall in front of you or the long edge of your mat. Still feeling the belly engage, creating stability through the hips and the torso. Inhale brings you up. Hands come to the hips, turning your front toes to the long edge of the mat. You can heel toe the feet back out, but keep the big toes pointing to the long edge. Hands reach high. And we swan dive to wide angle forward fold. Hands could come directly under the shoulders. You could reach around the heels. You could walk your hands through. Feeling wherever you are that the crown of the head is reaching toward the mat. Remembering you can always have a gentle bend to the knees. And bringing the hands underneath you. Maybe you've got a prop, water bottle, block. They're underneath the shoulders. Taking your right arm and reaching up toward the ceiling. Hand comes down, trading it out. If you twist gently, the other side. Hand comes down. Hands come to the hips. Your next inhale rides the breath up, using a flat spine. Now, turning the toes slightly out. That could be big toes to the corners of your mat. None of us probably have that 180-degree line, so no need to force it from your knees and ankles. Find that rotation from your hips. Hands come to heart center. We sink the hips down. Goddess pose. Tailbone reaches down, knees over toes. Feel free to dust the bench with your butt. And straightening through the legs, engaging all the way through. Hands come to hips. Stepping it forward, mountain pose. Peek, did your toes meet each other? It's a fun game. Usually we think that they've come side by side, but they have not. Feeling free to shake it out, grab a sip. And then we'll meet in mountain pose. Sounds still good? You can still hear me? Great. The AC unit kicked on behind me, so I just want to be sure. Inhale, arms reach high. Chair pose. Hands come to heart. Feeling the weight in your heels here. That's rarely advice I give. But in chair pose, that's where it goes. This time, lifting the heels and lower for 3, 2, and 1. Releasing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sets it back, down dog. Inhale, reaches your left toes high. Exhale, steps that foot through. Warrior two on your second side. Feeling shoulder and hip alignment. Tailbone reaches down. Relax the toes, try not to grip with them. Front palm flips, reaching up and back to exalt. Returning center, maybe deepening the bend of that front knee. And then your front arm swings underneath. Eagle arms on your second side. And we spill forward, humble warrior. Remembering that option to rest or hang. Your inhale brings you up. Unraveling the arms, straightening through the front knee, choosing to stay wide or shimmy the foot forward. Then we tip it over, I feel like a teapot. It's a triangle. You have a long line running from the top finger to the bottom. Inhale reaches up. Hands come to the hips. Toes turn to the long edge of the mat. You could shimmy your feet back out if you'd like. This time, reaching behind, clasping the hands, pulling the hands down as you open the chest to the ceiling, and then hinging forward. Wide angle forward fold with a shoulder stretch. If this becomes too intense for your shoulders, release the grip entirely or let your hands rest on your back. Give your head a gentle shake, making sure you're not holding tension in the back of the neck. Your next inhale pulls you up using those hands, releasing the grip. Hands come to heart center, heels come in, toes go out. Goddess pose. Some people also call this horse. Feeling free to sway. You could also deepen that a little bit, almost straightening the other leg. And returning center and straightening through the legs. Hands can come to the hips, step it forward. Mountain pose. Shake it out, sway it out. Grab your cup. Cup or can, whatever. In your mountain pose, put the other hand on your hip. Maybe you keep holding your cup, just see what happens. Finding baby tree. Maybe you got kickstand toes. Maybe it's just on the calf. Maybe your branches grow. Maybe they blow in the wind. Nice. Returning the arms down. Maybe they're in a version of heart center. Stretch the leg forward and switch the feet out. Other side. Kickstand toes are great. Or low tree. Feeling the toes spread. Pressing down at the big toe joint, the pinky toe, and the heel of your standing foot. Maybe branches grow. Or maybe they sway. The worst that could happen is you fall out of tree and just go back in. Hands come back center. Foot extends forward. Mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, swan dive. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lifts. Exhale, folds. Feet heel toe to the edges of your mat. Big toes can point out, heels can come in. Find a little bit of yogi squat here. Maybe you stay high, elbows on the quads. You've got a prop, you could sit on it. Elbows help press the knees back. Resisting the urge to hunker and round, but feel the collarbones open. Hands can come to the floor. Hips press high. Feet turn parallel once more. Elbows for ragdoll. Releasing your grip. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands to the floor, making your way back. Maybe you pass through tabletop to child's pose. You can take wide knee child's pose or knees together. Let your fingers creep to one side of the mat, stretching the side body. Then fingers can creep to the second side. Hands come back center. Curling yourself up. Pausing. Maybe taking inventory. If this is uncomfortable for your knees or ankles, feel free to go ahead and come to a seat. Arms reaching high. Hands to heart center. And we're gonna go ahead and come, drop a hip to a side, swing the legs around. Maybe make sure your cup is in reach since now you're not gonna stand up anymore. You're mostly gonna be stationary. As we come to our first seated posture of this section, bring the bottoms of your feet together. Finding your cobbler pose, butterfly, has lots of names. But paying really close attention to your low back here, making sure that you're sitting up on your sits bones. And then making a decision here. Option A, feet pulling close into your hips. This makes a much deeper hip stretch. Option B, extending that diamond. You're going to find a stretch for your low back. Wherever you are, reach up toward the ceiling. Hands can be on your shins and forward to go down. So don't sink into your low back, but reach as if you could bring your head past your toes. Once you find your depth, then you can round through your upper back. Your next inhale, stacks the spine. Taking one hand to the opposite knee. I've got your left hand to your right knee. Right arm reaches up and over. Taking another side body stretch. Feel free to circle that arm once in each direction. And then bring yourself back up. Switching it out. That hand on the opposite knee gives you a little bit of leverage in your stretch. And finding that circle, especially if you did so on your first side. Inhale brings you up. Circling the shoulders, maybe shimmying them out. Bringing your legs straight forward. Inhale, arms reach high. Again, we're taking opposite hand to the outside of the leg. So taking your left hand to the outside of your right leg and folding forward with the other one. Maybe it's on the calf, ankle, or the foot. You really flex through your feet here and pull back on the blade edge of the foot if you happen to reach it. You'll feel a nice stretch all the way up that outer leg, maybe even up into the outer hip. Inhale brings you back up. Exhale comes to the other side. Inhale comes up. Then, no fancy way, making your way to your belly. And then, making a pillow with your hands, forehead on the hand. Then bringing the palms forward, elbows come under the shoulders, chest reaches up for Sphinx pose. Ellen, if you end up watching this now or later, don't do this part. From here, let the elbows splay wide, forehead comes back down. Inhale brings you back up to Sphinx pose. Feeling the belly still engage here so you don't get pressure in the low back. Shifting your weight over to your right forearm, bending your left knee. Maybe your left fingers find your left toes. For half bow. If you've got the foot, kick the foot into the hand. Feeling a lot of sensation probably in the quad and into the hip flexor. And then gently release. Maybe you don't slingshot the foot out of the hand. And we come back to two arms in Sphinx. Weight shifts to your left elbow, right knee bends, right foot maybe waves at your foot, maybe grabs. Getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch here as well, if your hand has the foot. Releasing. And folding back down to sleeping crocodile. Forehead on your hands. Feel free to bend at the knees and windshield wiper your feet from side to side. And then we'll push our way back to child's pose. And curling it up as you're ready and returning to a seat. Feet can stay planted on the floor, knees are bent to the ceiling. And arms reach out. For a little bit of modified boat here, keeping the feet down. Then we'll lower the torso to low boat. Belly button pulls to the spine. Reach it up to high. Shoulders don't touch the mat here. 5. And up. 4. 3. 2. And 1. This time, articulating the spine slowly to the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you arrive there, take a full body stretch, hands away from feet, and then hug the knees to the chest. Arms wrapping, maybe gently rocking from side to side. Then planting the feet on the mat, just about hip distance apart. Hands reach toward the heels, shoulders walk underneath you as you press your hips high for bridge pose. Your next exhale articulates the spine back to the mat. Figure 4ing your right ankle across your left knee. Then maybe the foot hovers. Maybe your right hand threads through and clasps on the thigh, or reaches around to the shin. For a version of reclined pigeon, feel free to gently sway from side to side and use your elbow to press your knee away from you. Left foot plants on the mat. Right ankle stays figure 4. And you drop your knees to the right. Stretching through the hip flexor, quad, internal rotators. If it's too much sensation with your right ankle across, simply let your right foot come to the floor. Your left arm could reach up, and the right hand could grab that wrist if you wanted to intensify. Releasing the arm, bringing the knees back up, planting the right foot on the mat, and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Knees pause center, hands reach toward the heels, and we press up for bridge pose once more. Maybe you clasp your hands underneath or keep your hands as you did your first round. Your next exhale brings the spine down. Left ankle figure 4s across the right quad. Right leg hovers. This time your left hand threads, remembering your options of the thigh or wrapping around at the shin. Right foot finds the mat. Knees drop to the left. Finding your version of the stretch here, remembering you can release that foot off the quad or extend the right arm high, grabbing the wrist. Releasing the arms, bringing the legs back up, feet plant, windshield wipering if your body needs it. And allowing your body to take anything it might need, maybe a simple inversion, just letting the legs hover toward the ceiling in tiger, taking happy baby, or some spinal twists. Maybe finding one last sip. Before we begin to settle into Shavasana, and as you're ready, allow yourself to surrender onto the mat. Finding that place where you can let go. Maybe you put a pillow behind to create a slight incline for the torso. Maybe you choose to Shavasana on your belly. If you've never Shavasana there, feel free to give that a shot. You can, of course, let your arms and legs splay wide. allowing each muscle to let go and find support on your mat. If your low back has any tension, plant your feet on the edges of your mat and let your knees knock in. That reduces that pressure and provides support. If you would like to Shavasana in a hip opener, you're welcome to bring the bottoms of your feet together and let your knees open out in Reclined Goddess. Being very careful there and noticing if it creates tension for your low back. As you pause, simply let the rhythm of your breath guide your mind, following the inhale and the exhale. Finding comfort in its soft, steady pace. And allowing yourself to take a nice deep inhale and sigh it out with the exhale. Finding that once more. Deep inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. As you begin to find minor movements, maybe simply wiggling at the fingers and toes, perhaps rolling at the wrists and ankles, maybe even nodding the head from side to side, as you invite life back in on your terms. As you're ready, you can roll to your favorite side, pausing as your practice settles into your body. Then you can gently press through the top hand, guiding yourself up to a comfortable seat. Eyes are closed or downcast. Inhale, arms reach high, palms meeting at the top. Exhale, hands pause at your third eye as you seek openness of mind. They rest at your lips so that you find honest words. They settle at your heart as you arrive at a happy heart. Thank you for spending happy hour with me. Namaste. And cheers. You can turn your mics back on if you'd like.
Hey.
Hey.
We may not have had yoga music, but we